And for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this time we'll open the floor for a public forum. State your name, your address. All right, nobody. Public forum closed. Acceptance of agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to mention that Lance is keeping records or keeping minutes, so we need to slow down a little bit for him.
Wow. Oh,
Just helping out a little bit. That's it.
New appreciation for Susan, huh?
man. Consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve the consent agenda items 7.1 through 7.10 as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. All right, 881 Heritage Second Project, Water and Sewer Project Bids, Les Mangus.
If I can get my agenda to come up again. There it is. There it is. Last Thursday, we took the bids for the paving improvements for the Heritage Second Edition. Had some good bids. They were well under the engineer's estimate. Conspec DBA Kansas Paving was the low bidder at $932,739. And we would recommend that you accept that low bid.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to accept the lowest qualified bid from Conspec doing business as Kansas Paving in the amount of $932,739 and reject all other bids and authorize the mayor to sign the contract for the Heritage Second Edition Water Distribution System, Part B, paving alley, paving and incidental drainage, paving Shay Phase 2 improvements.
Second.
Any further discussion?
One just quick question, Mayor.
Right.
Have they announced when groundbreaking is on the Heritage yet?
February 25th.
For the Heritage mixed use, it will be on February 25th. The time is yet to be determined, but that afternoon sometime.
Okay, thank you.
Where was I?
All in- Sorry.
I didn't know. Yeah, I'm easily distracted, Mike. You know that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. 9-1 Street Rehabilitation Project 2022. Rick?
Mr. Mayor and Council, for the last 4 or 5 years, staff has performed the design and bidding and inspection and oversight on these particular projects. It saved us quite a bit of money over the years. Typically, a lot of times this work consists of mill and overlays, restriping, some concrete repairs, sidewalk repairs, curb and gutter repairs. This year, we're going to go into an area and fix some original chip seal streets that have been, and they're like in the 80s. It's going to take a little bit more design work. And due to staffing's obligations already and the complexity of some of this work, we've just requested that we get a little bit of assistance on this. This is a very small percentage. It's less than 3% of what we estimate the cost of the project to be. So it's not a full-on normal design service. It's just more like a little bit of assistance in this work. This work is generally in the area from Andover Road up to 10th Street in that area, and from Central up to 10th, and from Andover Road over to Lakeside in that general area. All those streets that are not, this doesn't include the gravel roads. I want to make that clear. This only includes the streets that were originally chip seal, who were a little lower grade asphalt. They're to the point they're going to have to be pretty much have major repairs done to them. So if anyone has any questions about it, I'd be more than happy to try to answer the questions you might have.
Anyone?
Just one question, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
In regards to this one, are there any other ones that need to be done? And could we double up on estimates for in the future, or use any of this plan for the future kind of thing?
So this covers everything that we anticipate to be this type of work. The rest of the work that we have planned, we will just do in-house, and we can manage that in-house. And that saves us a considerable amount of money.
So do you have a specific on what's the difference between this one and then the other
Sure.
ones that need rehabbing as well?
So a lot of times on a mill and overlay, it's pretty simple. Actually putting plans on there, it's kind of hard to say you did design work, because it's a lot of times you take aerial photography and you put start here, end here, you figure up your quantities, you finish out your spec book, which is generally a standard spec book that just has the specifications for the asphalt overlay and so forth, and milling requirements. And you put some general notes on there, and you conduct meetings and so forth like that with the residents. And then you do the inspection work during it. This project is going to be a little bit more complicated. We're not going to just be going in and milling off like 2 inches, the top 2 inches of an existing surface. We're going to be taking out the existing road surface, taking it down about another 5 to 6 inches, depending on location, rebuilding back. Well, actually, we'll be going down about 11 inches, putting back 6 inches of subgrade, which is the most important part of the road surface, and then put a 5-inch wearing surface with, a 5-inch base with a 2-inch wearing surface on top. So we'll be doing a considerable amount of work in there that's a little bit different, tying in grades on roads that are just not quite the same normal. So it's just a little more complicated work. Most of our maintenance work, as you're probably aware, our streets are in really good shape. So most of our maintenance work is more routine maintenance and just not nearly to the level as this one. Does that answer your question?
I think so. Is this one of the red on that drawing that they did for when they drove the truck around? Is this one of the red streets?
Oh, these are all red streets. Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're not. They're down to the level to be considered reconstruction.
Okay.
You would have better luck skateboarding down a gravel road than you would these streets, just to give you an idea.
It'd be funny watching me skateboard any street.
So I have a question, Mr. Landsworth.
Sure.
So the blacktop on those roads go just past the ditch, which is city property. Will that blacktop go from into the driveways, which are city property, that are blacktop now?
So we're working through some details on that. There are some issues because as you're probably aware, the resident owns the culverts that are in there, and we do not want to put some old or put on a new pavement over the top of culverts that need to be repaired. So we're working through some of those details, and that'll be part of our planning process and working through it. Originally, the intent was just to pave the actual driving surfaces. I feel like I want to put a little bit of return, if nothing else, to keep the rocks a little further away from the wearing surface.
So if the owners own the culverts and they have 2 driveways, then can't they hook them 2 culverts together with another culvert that they purchase?
So the city has responsibility of the ditch and maintains the ditches. So we have to look at that on a case by case basis, because we got to make sure that we're accounting for drainage to go into the ditch and we don't cause issues. It's generally frowned upon to put a culvert across the whole length of the property, if that's what you're alluding to.
No. For example, if you lived, I don't know, what's my address, Jenny? 601 Broadview. And there's a ditch in between your 2 driveways that catches everything on God's earth. Wouldn't it benefit the city for that to be culverted? Put a culvert in there that goes plumb across so that it don't catch everything. It's a geographical oddity that catches everything, as you well know.
Yeah.
So,
we can take a look at that in the design phase. There's some concerns I have with a couple different issues in that, but it's, if the driveways are close enough together, the problem is we also have regulations on how wide your driveways can be. So you wouldn't be able to make a 60-foot wide driveway through there or something like that.
all right, thank you.
You might be able to put like a graded drain in the between that as well. And if there's any water that comes in on it, it goes into the graded drain. Just a flat drain in the grass.
Keep the leaves out, wouldn't it? All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
since there aren't any more questions, I'd move to approve the work order number 21-12 for engineering services with Professional Engineering Consultants PA, in Wichita, Kansas, for the not to exceed amount of $35,000.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay.
Thank you.
Motion carries 5-0. 10-1, finance purchase accounting software agreement. Ms. Davis.
Before you tonight is our agreement extension with Tyler Technologies. We have been with them. We started the process in 2014, went live in 2015, and now we're ready to extend, put an amendment onto that agreement. The JT did review. They did change the wording that he didn't like, and they also agreed to a cap on years 2 and 3 to no more than a 3% increase. This is hosted on the cloud. It's not on our server, which is, it behooves us to do this.
Does it not have to, oh, Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, yes.
does it not have to interface with any other software then that we already have here?
It interfaces with something that the police use, I believe, with courts. It does do that.
And it's all fine? even though
But
it's on the cloud?
it handles, this software handles our court fees processing, utility billings, the accounting, accounts receivable. So it's a big packet that handles a lot of things.
Okay, cool.
So, Mr. Mayor. So-
Yes, sir.
So Donna, when you say accounting, do you mean,
The general ledger, and it also handles payroll. I think that's all of the packets that we buy.
so is this what the department heads or supervisors can log into to see what they've spent in their budget?
We're working towards getting them to that point. Now,
Okay.
since we've had unlimited users, it's a matter of time of getting everybody set up to do that.
So this would be city's QuickBooks per se. I mean, a lot more to it, but in common layman terms, it'd be the QuickBooks that we use.
It does also have a budget, I don't know what you call that, module available, and that we're going to be moving towards that. Probably not this year. It'll be a process to migrate how we do things, but so that people are able to put their budgets in and they're stored in one place. It'll allow a little bit different reporting for governing body and the citizens that might want to see different reports.
Perfect.
But
Is
you're
it all,
talking about integrating, this software will also integrate with the credit card merchant that we're going towards. They will interface back and forth. The inspections software, Excella, it's also going to work with, somewhat with Tyler.
is all the data information like publicly available as well for the public to see all of our accounting? My computer just yelled at me for asking that question.
How dare you?
No, it's not available to the public. We do publish on our internet, our financials, and we have our annual financial report that we publish. But for seeing the line items at this point, no, they don't have access to that.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of security does it have? Is there anything in there that could be hackable, or, I mean, what does the technology have that makes it more secure?
That would be a Tyler technology or an IT question that when we originally purchased the software, that was looked at. That's not an accounting person's.
It's a great question though. And are there other municipalities using it?
Oh, many. This is probably the most used
Yeah. But,
software.
I mean, you're always worried about that with all these banks and stuff getting hacked, and not that anybody, I don't know, people probably would want to hack us, but we don't want it to happen. Just wanted to
Tyler,
see if they
they
help
did
have
have an
security.
episode 2 years, 3 years ago, but it was their firewall stopped it.
Okay.
Someone tried to get into Tyler's.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
Donna, in regards to the other spots that you've mentioned where Tyler Technologies would come into play, are there going to be any new upgrades to those systems?
Those
Or-
are new, like the Paymentus, that's the credit card merchant, that's a brand new system that we're going to.
Any of the other departments going to incur a cost by us doing this or anything?
No.
Okay.
no. We do split this cost between the general fund, wastewater fund, and stormwater, because wastewater and stormwater use the utility billing function of it. But the lion's share of it is picked up by the general fund.
Perfect. Thank you, Donna.
Mhm.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the amendment and renewal of Tyler Technologies, Plano, Texas, in the amount of $45,015 as presented.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Public Works purchase chemical addition sprayer. Rick Lansford will describe that as well.
Mr. Mayor and Council, starting in 2022, we've broke out all the expenses for the golf course and created a golf course budget so we can more clearly track our expenditures and budget our forecast, our future. In the 2022 budget, we had 3 items in our CIP. We had $5,000 for replacement of golf cart, $10,000 for some pump maintenance, and $25,000 for a chemical sprayer. The Oaks Golf has expressed a desire to delay the golf cart purchase. We're working with them on some possible alternatives to that. And the pump well inspection, they have identified somebody that could do that for a substantial lower cost that specializes in golf course pumps. So that's a good thing, because when we went, I asked them to go out and get some proposals for this chemical sprayer, because as we're all aware, sometimes just because you want to buy something doesn't mean you're getting it right away. So we're trying to move a little sooner on these purchases so we can hopefully get them when we need them. And they went out, and the price was the lowest price they got on it with trade-in was $39,513. Per our agreement on capital improvement equipment purchases, the operator of the golf course is responsible for 20% of that. So that would lower our cost, our share, by $7,902.60, which would leave us in our capital budget for the golf course for the remaining part of the year, $8,389.60. These are more or less golf course specific sprayers. I mean, they could be used probably dual purpose for things, but that's the primary design and purpose of these sprayers. If you have any questions, I would try to answer that.
Question?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, I'll take a stab. So this is for the golf course, but if Daniel needs it at the park, can we use it at the park?
That would be, we'd really probably have, it's probably not the sprayer that we would use anyway, because the way it's designed and what it's used for. I suppose we could borrow it from them. Remember, they do own 20% of it.
Yeah.
And it's probably not something that we would do unless we were down and just specifically need something. We do have sprayers that are more designed for our use that are a little bit more prudent for us to be using.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to authorize the purchase of a chemical sprayer from Kansas Golf and Turf, Wichita, Kansas, in the amount of $39,513.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I do have a quick question, Rick.
Yes, sir.
How is that gonna work with them paying 20%? Because
We-
our bill is 39,513. Will they reimburse us 20%?
We will invoice them for the 20% and then they will pay us back. I just figured it's cleaner if we show the purchase in our name and not try to split it.
All right. Anyone else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. All right, 12-1, council president nomination.
Should I step down? Do I need to? I'm kidding. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to nominate Mike Warrington, because I love Mike, but I love everybody else too. But he's been here quite long now compared to the rest of us, and I feel like that'd be an appropriate nomination.
Second.
Can we have a 4? Is that a thing?
So, don't vote on it or yes?
Sorry, was that a motion? Maybe I messed that up.
There's other nominations too that if
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
wanted to nominate.
My bad. That wasn't a motion.
We do a first and second. My rules are
I apologize, JT.
I don't know that
got
you
it.
need a first or a second for nomination, but I think to Councilman Tabor's point, we should ask if there's any other nominations. And if not, then you would take up the item and vote. Would that be fair?
Can JT be the council president? Can I? Okay, just.
No, if anyone else would like to nominate someone else on the council, there may be another council
I know,
member.
I was kidding.
Okay.
I mean, in our packet, Mr. Mayor, I mean, it says that, anyway, that any one of us could do it, but in the past, it's kind of just been, the most senior person on the bench.
The oldest?
the-
most gray
the
hair.
old- So
Oh, no.
I'm behind, and I don't,
So,
I mean,
can I have the meeting back, Homer? If you're-
no, I'm just saying that we.
So does anyone else have any nominations? All right, good.
Mr.
So-
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I motion that we approve Mr. Mike Warrington as council president.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. I'm assuming you'll accept the.
Yeah, I'll accept it.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you gotta go outside.
All right, executive
Nope.
session. Land acquisition KAS.
Nope. Your appointments, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
13.1.
Come on, Mr. President, you gotta
I'm under so much stress,
keep them in
man.
line.
Mr. Mayor,
All appointments 2022.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the appointments the mayor has presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Now, executive session 14-1, land acquisition KSA 75-4319 B6.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to recess into executive session for preliminary discussions relating to the acquisition of real property per KSA 75-4319 B6. Session to include governing body, city attorney, staff, city administrator, community development director, and assistant city administrator. The open meeting will resume at 7:40.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Mayor,
Yeah.
I move to come out of executive session.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to authorize the Director of Community Development to offer Thomas Flynn Jr. the just compensation with administrative adjustment to purchase the street right-of-way and temporary construction easement for parcel R23225 for the 159th Street Improvement Project. Second, Joe.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the Director of Community Development to offer the owner the just compensation with administrative adjustment to purchase the drainage and utility easements for parcel R24124 for the Heritage Mixed Use First Edition Archer Drive Paving and Drainage Improvement Project.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Member items.
I know somebody that's personally getting ready to close on a house over in the Heritage project of one of the homes. That was pretty cool. And so she told me that the other day. So I thought that was pretty awesome. That's starting to kind of kick off and stuff. And then when you drive by, you see some of the homes are already living in, I believe, unless they're the model.
Yep.
But
Nope, there's people living over there.
yeah.
Exciting.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Couple quick things. One is next month, WAMPO will be having requests for projects again, and I don't know if we have time to really talk as a council on what that might be, but I'm assuming that you guys have already been thinking about what projects might come next after the ones that are already in line at WAMPO. I know we have a lot going on. Two other quick things. One is Gary Israel. I've known him for a lot of years. He's a very amazing guy. Very smart. He's invested in the community in a lot of different ways, and it's really cool that you added him onto this. That was a really good find. I don't know if he reached out to you or you to him, but I think he's great.
He's also on PRAB, isn't he? So, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's a top tier, amazing artist as well.
Mhm.
So if we could get him to do some art for us, that'd be great. And then I'd thrown a name at you a while back, Matt Sanders, as an option for some kind of a position
I've talked to
somewhere.
Matt.
So if there's anything open somewhere,
Yeah.
he might still be, or he
That's
would
good.
still be available.
That's good. I've forgotten all about him. He and I actually stopped and had lunch or supper or something.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Also, really smart guy. Not an artist.
Yeah,
though.
because we went way off we went on a tangent of things we could do together. It was amazing conversation.
Oh, good.
And of course, you know me. I've forgotten, but I'll reach out to him
Yeah.
again.
Do you still have his info?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Mayor.
Mike?
Well, I want to thank everyone for their nominations and for council president tonight. So I do appreciate that.
Oh, did we vote on that?
And hopefully I'll live up to everyone's expectations. So, on the plan commission, the outside city limits, there's two. Has it always been two for outside city limit members?
Yes, it's required that we have two.
Okay, I was just thinking it
We
was
have
one. but-
subdivision jurisdiction outside the city.
Okay. That's all I had.
I do have a couple things, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I want to thank Daniel and Rick for the swings. I don't know if y'all saw that in your consent item, but they were able to add another bay of swings, so that's very exciting. I was at the park last weekend, whenever the last time it was nice, and kids were waiting, even with the swings we have here. So being able to add an extra set of swings is phenomenal. If you see Cammie Baker, tell her congratulations. She is our new judge. So
Yeah.
if you see her out and about, just tell her congratulations. I don't know if did you force her to take it or did she willingly go? So,
No comment.
and then I don't know who Robert Lane is, but I'm assuming he's somebody that we've had before. So that's exciting. We have a new city prosecuting attorney. Is that what he's called, JT? Prosecuting attorney? So, and then the fire station. The fire station is we're kind of moving along a little bit. it's very exciting. I know we don't like to be called, compared to Derby, but Derby, is compared to us a lot. If you talk to any real estate lady or real estate folks, they compare us to Derby a lot. And, I understand money's tight, but if we can get our fire station to kind of look halfway to what Derby's new fire station looks, we're going to be talk of the town. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. The fire station is a big asset to the town, and it's coming along nicely. I'm impressed. Scared to death of the cost, but we'll find the money somewhere. So that's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
All righty. Jenny?
Mr. Mayor, you may have noticed that my memo was updated today, and it was right in line with what Councilman Henry talked about. I do correspond with Josh Holsey with Heritage, both the courtyards and the commons. So there is an update in my memo regarding how many homes, models, and lots have sold. So you might want to check that out since that did get updated this afternoon.
I actually met two ladies at the senior center when I was doing bingo last week or Friday. Today's, I guess it was last Friday. Anyway, they both live in there. One lives right there on that corner, and they were having trouble getting their FedEx and UPS because they wasn't on the doodad. But Renee at Renew Consignment does that just for further. If you run into that, she does the
Drop off.
the mapping.
Oh,
Driver-
like the Google mapping or
Yeah.
something, or?
So if someone does get a hold of you about new additions, and like I say, she's right there on the corner. The little lady is the first one, and the other one lives right there too. And so Renee, I just happened to run into Renee at I was out there, some would call it trespassing, looking through the houses being built, and seen her out buzzing around. So what are you doing? And she said, Google mapping. So I was a hero for about 10 minutes at the old folks home because I told these ladies, oh, I'll call. I got the number. I'll take care of this right now. That's what I do. I'm the mayor. I take care of stuff right now. So, second thing is, Troy, thank you for sitting next to me this last 2 years. And the first part, it was a lot of help just having you here so I could scribble notes and ask you, what am I supposed to do? So I appreciate it. And congratulations on your new gig. And
Thank you very much.
it was very helpful. So, all right. Before I get mushy, let's just stop right there, All right. And Rick, I was just messing with you about the roads, but you better get it right because I know the mayor. Thank you very much, y'all.
Mr. Mayor?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I move to adjourn.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries 5-0. Oh, I seen those.
Professor?